The twin suns of the desolate planet Zifra burned low in the rust-colored sky, casting eerie shadows across the barren wasteland. Lieutenant Alex Ryder adjusted the straps of his oxygen mask as he trudged through the endless dunes, his boots sinking into the crimson sand with every step. It had been 3 days since his transport ship, the Endeavour, had been ambushed by the Grixel raiders. 3 days of surviving on ration bars and recycled water. But it wasn't his survival he was worried about, it was theirs. A faint whimper broke the silence, drawing Alex's attention. He followed the sound to a rocky outcrop where he found them, a small group of alien refugees huddled together, their emaciated bodies trembling in the cold shadow of the rocks. Their skin, a translucent blue that shimmered faintly in the dying light, was stretched thin over their bones. Their eyes, large and luminescent, were filled with a mix of fear and desperation. Alex's gaze fell on the smallest of them, a girl no older than 10 by human standards. She clung to an older woman, her mother, perhaps, whose hollow cheeks and sunken eyes told a story of weeks, if not months, of starvation. The girl's gaze met his, and for a moment, Alex forgot about the war, the politics, and the endless fight for resources that had brought him to this forsaken planet. Are you human?" the mother rasped, her voice barely audible. Alex nodded, reaching into his pack. He pulled out the last of his ration bars and knelt before the girl. "Here," he said softly, holding it out. "It's not much, but it'll help." The girl hesitated, her wide eyes darting between Alex and her mother. The woman gave a weak nod, and the girl took the bar with trembling hands. She bit into it, her face a mix of relief and sorrow. Tears welled up in her mother's eyes as she watched her daughter eat. "Why?" the mother whispered, her voice cracking. "Why would you help us?" Alex's jaw tightened. "Because I've seen enough death," he replied. "And because no one deserves to suffer like this." The woman's tears spilled over, carving tracks through the dust on her face. "Thank you," she choked out. "You have no idea what this means." Hours later, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, Alex built a small fire using the last of his emergency supplies. The refugees gathered around it, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The mother introduced herself as Lorana, and her daughter as Saris. They were Xyrolans, a once thriving species whose homeworld had been obliterated by the Grixel Empire. "They took everything from us," Lorana explained, her voice heavy with grief. "Our homes, our families. Even our dignity. We've been running ever since." Alex listened in silence, his fists clenched in anger. The Grixel Empire was notorious for their brutality, but hearing Lorana's story made it personal. "You don't have to run anymore," he said finally. "I'll get you to safety." Lorana's eyes widened. "But how?" "You're alone, and the Grixel patrol these lands day and night." Alex gave her a determined smile. "I've faced worse odds." The journey to the human outpost was treacherous. They moved under the cover of darkness, navigating the labyrinthine canyons that crisscrossed the wasteland. Alex used every ounce of his training to avoid Grixel patrols, relying on his keen senses and advanced combat suit to detect threats before they saw them. But their luck couldn't hold forever. On the third night, a Grixel scout drone spotted them. The sleek, insect-like machine let out a piercing screech, alerting nearby forces. "Run!" Alex shouted, drawing his plasma rifle. Lorana scooped up Saris and bolted, the other refugees following close behind. Alex stood his ground, firing precise bursts of plasma at the drone until it exploded in a shower of sparks. Moments later, the ground trembled as a Grixel assault vehicle approached, its menacing silhouette illuminated by harsh red lights. Alex's mind raced. He was outnumbered and outgunned, but he couldn't let the refugees be captured. "Keep going," he called over his shoulder. "I'll hold them off." Lorana hesitated, tears streaming down her face. You'll die. Alex turned to her, his eyes steely. Then it'll be worth it. Before she could protest, he charged toward the vehicle, unleashing a torrent of plasma fire. The Grixel soldiers returned fire, their weapons lighting up the night. Alex darted between rocks, using his suit's enhanced agility to outmaneuver them. He managed to disable the vehicle's main cannon, but a stray shot hit his shoulder, sending him sprawling to the ground. As the Grixel soldiers closed in, Alex prepared for the end. But then, a deafening roar echoed through the canyon. A massive shadow loomed over the battlefield, and a human dropship descended from the sky, its turrets blazing. The Grixel scattered, retreating under the onslaught. The dropship's ramp lowered, and a squad of human soldiers rushed out, their leader helping Alex to his feet. "Lieutenant Ryder," the soldier said, "we've been looking for you." Alex nodded toward the fleeing refugees. "Help them first. They're the ones who need saving." In the safety of the dropship, Lorana and the others finally relaxed. Saris sat beside Alex, clutching his hand tightly. "You risked everything for us," Lorana said, her voice filled with gratitude. "Why?" Alex looked at Saris, then back at Lorana. "Because humanity's strength isn't in our weapons or technology. It's in our ability to care. To fight for those who can't fight for themselves." Lorana's eyes shimmered with tears, but this time, they were tears of hope. For the first time in years, she dared to believe that there was a future for her people. As the dropship ascended into the starry sky, Alex leaned back and closed his eyes. The fight wasn't over, but for now, he allowed himself a moment of peace. Because in the end, it wasn't just about survival. It was about proving that humanity was worth fighting for.